From attempting to push his rival out of the market to trying to save Meta's future, here's the real reason Mark Zuckerberg has trapped over 100 million people. To put it simply, he wants to beat Elon Musk. In early July 2023, Meta Inc. launched an app that has the power to change the social media industry forever. The Meta CEO, Mr. Zuck, named this app Threads. This platform was promoted on Instagram as a messaging app, where communities of people from around the world could join any discussions and connect directly with their favorite creators. The crazy thing is that within just 5 hours, the app already gained around 5 million users. And these numbers skyrocketed to 30 million in 24 hours and 70 in 2 days. As of what we know right now, this brand new social media platform has taken the world by storm by capturing an audience of over 100 million users worldwide. It's the fastest growing platform in the world, breaking ChatGPT's record. And that's saying something. But what's even more interesting is within hours of the app's launch, a lot of people noticed the uncanny similarities that Threads had with Twitter, a text-based conversation app where people can like, share, and comment on other people's hot takes regarding quite literally any subject of conversation. Now, where have we heard that one before? To top all this, the app even borrowed its name from Twitter. Ever heard of Twitter Threads? There's a reason why Musk felt the need to refer to Threads as a copycat app. But Elon didn't stop there, and he even sued Meta with a cease and desist letter, because he believes that Mark hired ex-Twitter employees who spilled the beans about Twitter's intellectual property and trade secrets. And looks like he's onto something. The timing of the app's launch can't be a coincidence. Threads is clearly taking advantage of Twitter's downfall. And it's not like Zuck's tried to keep this a secret. Meta is upfront about wanting to steal Twitter's users, and Mark explicitly said that Threads is going to do what Twitter could never. Even the Meta chief product officer, Chris Cox, dissed Twitter by mentioning that Threads is far superior, because, unlike its rival, it's sanely run. Whoa, this was a clear attack on Musk, and a reference to the criticism he's faced for his version of Twitter, ever since he bought it in 2023. Fun fact, Twitter's actually been under fire for a series of bad strategic decisions taken by the Tesla CEO. For starters, the Bird app has imposed a limit on how many tweets a person can view per day in an attempt to fight off bots and data scrapers, and Twitter's been suffering from a lot of system manipulation. While Musk tried to pacify people by telling them this measure was temporary, users are complaining that such a limit reduces the quality of their experience, making it less interactive. And that's not all. Looks like Twitter is dealing with some financial issues too. Their advertising revenue has decreased by 50%. And not to forget that there's the whole controversy regarding Musk's support of absolute free speech, which often makes the app a very hostile place for users. To top it all off, some of the biggest celebs have turned their backs on the app. Why on earth would anyone want to use Twitter when Pedro Pascal, Oprah Winfrey, and even Elton John have left? Keeping in mind that Musk's platform is clearly going through a rough patch, now is probably the best time for his rival to launch an app, especially one that offers users a more interactive experience than ever seen before on any social media app. It's true, while Twitter already has many competitors' apps like Bluesky, Clubhouse, and even Mastodon, none of these come even close to Mark's newest creation. This app has a character limit of 500, while Twitter has a limit of 280. Threads also allows users to post videos up to 5 minutes long, along with photos and links. Then there are certain accessibility features like screen reader support and alt text, which make the app even more user-friendly. But this isn't even all of it. This brand new app is decentralized, which means that the app users have all control over their content. Threads is also all set to introduce an activity pub, which would make the new app compatible with all other social networking sites and start an era in which networkers are more interconnected than ever. This means that if a user decides to leave the platform, they can take their audience with them to another one. No wonder Threads is giving Twitter a run for its money. But perhaps the biggest genius by Zuck is that his app's designed in a way that makes it really hard for users to leave. And no, we're not just talking about the pull of the insane range of options it provides. Mark's Twitter 2.0 is tied down to Instagram, even though Meta says that this is just temporary and that they're looking for a way to separate the two platforms. It feels more like a strategic move on Meta's end. I say this because the whole reason why the app's gained as many users as it has right now was because Instagram users simply hopped onto the new app. All they had to do was click here and there a few times, and their Insta username would also become their username for the new platform. Apparently, these two apps are so intertwined that if you were to block someone on either one, they'd get blocked on the other too. Also, you can very easily share any Threads post to your Insta story, so it takes away the whole hassle of taking screenshots of tweets to repost. Oh, and the app gives people a Threads badge on their Insta account page, which shows how early they joined the platform. And guess what? Instagram Chief Executive Officer Adam Mosseri is second to Mark himself. This just goes to show how interconnected the two platforms are, but there's a catch here. The connectedness of these two apps also makes it really hard for users to leave Threads once they've joined in. That's right, if you want to get rid of your Threads account, you have to deactivate Insta too. No friggin' way loyal Insta fanatics are ever going to deactivate the app. Everyone knows how insanely popular it is. It's the fourth most hit app in the world, with over 2 billion people using it at least once a month. So if you happen to be an Insta lover who joined Threads out of curiosity, you're lucky. But if you're wondering why Zuckerberg felt the need to go out of his way to trap all these users, well, he has an old score to settle with Musk. The Twitter versus Threads rivalry has a backstory to it, and is actually an extension of the feud between their owners, which started all the way in 2016. When a collab between these two went south. One of Mark's $200 million satellites erupted in a pre-launch test accident on Elon's SpaceX rockets. According to Mark, Musk's careless behavior was the reason it happened. And obviously, the world's richest man didn't take this accusation lightly. He continued taking shots at Mark for years after that comment for stuff like Mark's limited understanding of artificial intelligence and the declining popularity of Facebook. Mark tried to make peace on several occasions, and even complimented his rival on the changes he was making on Twitter. But since Elon was never ready to raise the white flag, Mark stopped playing nice too. And after the launch of Zuckerberg's newest app, things got even more heated. Elon started attacking his rival on Twitter by calling him a cuck and challenging him to a dick measuring contest. These two even decided to dish it out in a UFC cage fight. Whoa. All this makes it clear that Threads is just Mark's attempt to undermine his biggest enemy. But there's more to it than just that. Mark's trying to save Meta's future. A lot of experts believe that the social media market is oversaturated, and there's very little potential for growth. Zuckerberg doesn't want to believe that because the $110 billion in his pocket is obviously not enough, and he needs his company to keep growing, especially since his last project, Metaverse, was a huge disaster. When Metaverse was first launched in 2021, it was a very ambitious project, all set to replace mobile internet. The team made unrealistic promises like people having access to virtual cities and spaces, but they just couldn't deliver. It was estimated that Metaverse would bring $5 trillion in revenue, but the truth was far from it. Even though billions of dollars were invested in this project by crypto and blockchain, it didn't generate much revenue. In fact, it lost $6 billion. After a failure like that, it was crucial for Mark to come up with something that actually works. And so, from trying to save Meta's future to attempting to push his rival out of the market, that's the real reason Mark Zuckerberg has trapped over 100 million people.
Back when I started Facebook, that mostly meant text that we typed on computers. Then we all got phones with cameras, and the internet became much more visual.